The information is in your packet, it's self-explanatory, and I believe there's a resolution on some street activity permits. Okay, thank you. There's a resolution on some street activity permits, and a resolution on some taxi issues. So I'll read out the resolution. Just so you know, on the taxi situation, we were visited by two cab companies. One is Zeros in Crosby, who has been in business for 40 years in the neighborhood, and you all know them, and they have helped many people get to work on time, and deliver babies and all that sort of good stuff. So Resolve, and the other one is a new company, and that's going to be handled by, it's called Economy Car Service, and that's only going to be medical referrals, cars designed to assist people to take them to and from doctor's appointments, hospital appointments, labs, etc. The base will be in Westchester Square. We ran this by the Westchester Square bid. They seem to be approving of it, and because they're really not going to be operating in cab service, administratively they're going to be operating it. The cabs are not going to be moving in and out of the Westchester Square space. They're going to come out of the Parkchester site. So the first resolution reads, resolution which states the following: resolve the recommendation of the Municipal Services Committee of Bronx Community Board 10 that the taxi-based license application for the following companies: Economy Car Service and Tremont Dispatching Corporation, which is Crosby and Zeros, be approved by the committee, and that this information be forwarded to the full board for approval.
Motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
And that's it. Yes, thank you. The next resolution is in reference to two street activity permits. One came in from the Westchester Square bid regarding the movie nights, and the other came in from a group in Co-op City, which has successfully operated a block party by Carver Loop at Sal's Place for the past 5 years. So the Westchester Square bid is on, the movie nights will be on June 4th, July 9th, September 10th, October 7th from 4 to 9 p.m. And they're going to be at Westchester Avenue and East Tremont Avenue. And the event in Co-op City is called the Section 2 Fun Fair, and that's going to be on June 18, 2016 from noon to 8. And that's going to take place at the Sal's Place between Carver Loop. And I'm going to read the resolution. The resolution is, at the recommendation of the Municipal Service Committee of Bronx Community Board 10, that the following street activity permits be approved. Event 263-807, movie and family night in the square on the following dates: 5/6/16, 6/4/16, 7/9/16, 10/7/16, between the hours of 4. And I left out 2 earlier, I forgot to mention 5/6/16 regularly. On Lane Avenue between Westchester Avenue and East Tremont Avenue. And event number 216657, Section 2 Fun Day, 6/18/16 from 12 noon to 8 p.m. at Sal's Place in Carver Loop be approved. This information be forwarded to the full board for its approval. Resolution is passed in committee unanimously.
Motion to accept.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Thank
Any
you.
opposed?
And I would just draw your attention to the notes, because we did have Erin Goodwin, who is our Urban Fellow, signed to us from New York University's Wayne Graduate School of Public Service. And she presented her preliminary plan for improvement of traffic patterns for Pelham Bay, which included the plan submitted by the East Bronx Coalition on Traffic, which was inclusive of the late Joe Otto's suggestions. So the committee liked the report, but they sent her back to do a little more polishing for it, and she'll have it again for next month's meeting. And that concludes my report on municipal services.
Parks and Recreation.
Oh, is anyone here for Parks and Recreation? Okay, Parks and Recreation, unfortunately, Virginia's not here tonight, but what happened at the Parks and Recreation Committee is something very interesting. You may have read in the past that we were talking about Parks Without Borders, and we had a presentation from the Parks Department with reference to Parks Without Borders. This is a situation in which you can design a park. You can actually play with a computer system, and you can put a rock here, a tree here, a bench there, a lake here, whatever you want to do. And our suggestion as a board is going to probably be Ferry Point Park. Ferry Point Park is a large park that we all know is in need of assistance, and it's something that we've been working on for years. And they finally got their bathroom, at least in the starting phase, so that's good. Because one of the things that we did ask for immediately, of course, was the restroom. So we're going to be submitting, in all likelihood, just got to get the final word from the chair, the suggestion of Ferry Point Park. Yeah, the council member also is moving forward with a really nice plan for Anadolu Plaza. Okay. They'll be doing a, I'm sorry about that. They'll be doing some Bicentennial Park, Bicentennial Veterans Park, down by the Edgewater Park Co-op, who's going to be getting cycling equipment for a pathway around the parks, so they can stop and do exercises, just like they do in Elm Bay Park. So that's up for consideration very soon. There'll be a scope meeting about it. But I do want to also say something mention Anadolu Plaza. Anadolu Plaza is going to have 3 very beautiful plantings, basically thanks to the contributions of Councilman Obaka. And it's going to look great. It's a game changer for that area. So we're very happy about that.
Okay, next up, planning and budget.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. The Planning and Budget Committee met on February 10th, and what we did was we mandated to hold a public hearing on the capital and expense budget. We're required to hold a public hearing on the capital and expense budget. That's the document that you have here, which we so carefully prepared through the years. It took us roughly a year, I put 6 months to prepare this document. You will notice, I mean,
I'm
you
sorry.
guys done.
I'm sorry. I'm
If
sorry.
you're done, you're done. If you're not, you get under the
Go ahead. This is what I'm on the follow. Go ahead, bro.
Okay. Ken and I worked feverishly on this document. This thing came in from the mayor's office. We're required to prepare a capital expense budget request for 2017, and we dutifully prepared the budget request, knowing full well in past years we got nothing. And that's why I'm so excited about the borough president, appropriating $10 million for the Orchard Beach Pavilion. We prepared this document, we had a public hearing, we go through all these stuff, we listen to the community, and knowing full well that we finally put this budget document together, it's always turned down. Now, the interesting thing about this budget document is, the mayor's response this year to this year's document was not that one that would be, that we would expect from a highly trained and talented staff within the various agencies. What we received was a poorly prepared document in return, where the answers to our priorities were met with responses that were barely related to requests that were made. In other words, we sent them a document which was fully thought out, carefully worded, and they sent us direct back. I mean, really direct. And if you look at some of the budget priorities, bulkheads to protect us from another Hurricane Sandy, certain sewers that we've got a problem with. The Orchard Beach Pavilion we've been putting in for years. That's I got to thank the borough president again for the seed money. Hey, borough president.
You're loud and clear, Julian. I hear you.
I'm going to tell you, I'm just flabbergasted because we did not put in a response to the mayor. Usually we put in a response to the mayor and we said, come on, give us a break, give us something. And every year he says, sorry about that, guys, there ain't no money. you know, they got money for all kinds of stuff, but they don't have any money for us. And that's why I'm so grateful for the borough president, because now we're gonna put in a response, and we're gonna stick it to the mayor. We're gonna say, hey, look, the borough president gave us $10 million, where's your, how about you anteing up a few bucks? Also Senator Klein, nobody else would come in with any money, he gave us $1 million in seed money, right? For the dredging of Hammond Cove. That's a big plus. I mean, we were impressed with that kind of stuff. If our political leaders can kick in a few bucks, I mean, it really makes a difference. It shows the city of New York that if our political leaders are behind us and can give us some money to get the projects done for our people in our area, why can't you? I mean, we don't expect the world, but we can't get flooded out, and we've got to do some really good stuff. Now with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ken, because he did the heavy lifting on a lot of this stuff. Ken, now you're going to do the heavy lifting.
It was a 48-page document, and it included a lot of things that we do. Basically, the theme this year was storm surge prevention. We're in a water-bound board, and we're not protected. Last year, we had an urban fellow, I may remember him, his name is Marcel Legret. He had put together a real dynamite report, which was forwarded to the mayor's office, which was forwarded to the mayor's resiliency office. We had gone down to speak to the mayor's resiliency office. They said it was a very nice report, and they thanked us for it. And we haven't seen anything since. I've invited the mayor's office on resiliency to 3 different meetings, the Municipal Services Committee, and they keep telling me that they're waiting to come up to us and they're going to tell us some great news. I'm still waiting for the great news. So, I mean, once again, they're going to be invited to the April meeting of Municipal Services since they blew off March. We're working very hard at trying to get the city government to understand that we're vulnerable to storm surges. And we need work on these. We need work on the 3 seawalls we have. We need better work to prevent the storm surge from coming up out of the water and hitting areas like Locust Point. We need the city's agencies like DEP to confirm to us that the sewers are capable of handling a storm surge. And this was our report, and this is what we sent in. And we're asking our local officials to help us in this regard, to make the city aware that we really do need the help, because when Hurricane Sandy hit us, we got hit hard, but we didn't get hit as hard as other areas, and if the wind took a wrong turn and hit us the way they hit Sheepshead Bay, or Staten Island, or Breezy Point, you know, we'd be in a pretty bad situation. So the crux of the report was everything was related to, as much as we could, to storm surge protection and resiliency and recovery efforts. But it is a long document, and we had to put it in this new format, which turned it into 48 pages, which resulted in having us to expand the amount of priorities to 70 from 40 because of the way they wanted them listed. And we went through the document the other day, and it was pretty abysmal, with the exception of the, we didn't know this at the time, about the news about Ocean Beach. We were pretty discouraged because we tried very hard, to really reflect. We hold hearings, we contact local people, we contact local civics, we talk to the electeds, and we just don't get anything back from the city. So we were going to write a very long-winded, very critical letter of the process to the mayor. And I had conversations with the mayor's office, informal conversations about that, and they said they wanted to see that document. So they're waiting for it. So it'll be ready for the next general board meeting. And we'll have it approved before we send it out. So it's a long process. It's a fight. It's very difficult, but we keep trying, and we will keep trying. So thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Health and Human Services.
Well, just a update. So we're meeting on March 16th. You're all invited. We do have Chris Napolitano coming speak about the community shared agriculture program, where basically you can buy shares, and for like 24 weeks you get nice fresh vegetables, organic, from an upstate lawn, you can get fruit, you can share, you can buy your own, or you can go with someone. So she's gonna come and explain about it to us, because we are focused on healthy eating. We are also trying to plan a walk for April 2nd or the 9th at Maritime College, because we've gone from Park City, we've done Pelham Bay Park, so now we want to go to Drugs next. And there was one other thing I wanted to say. I forgot. Oh, sorry. Well, I'll tell you anyway. It's February, it's Heart Month, so be kind to your heart. Hypertension is the silent killer. Make sure you get your blood pressure checked. Know that women may have signs of a heart attack different than a man. They may not have chest pain. So if you ever feel that you're having a heart attack or a stroke, call 911. That's my health message. Thank you. And I don't know if Tony has anything to add from the Veterans Subcommittee.
Thank you, Professor, appreciate it. Just to let you know that we are moving along in caring for homeless veterans and in enhanced and increased volunteer presence at the James J. Peters VA Hospital, manned by members of your local American Legion posts up at, I believe it's 4B43, that's the floor that they're on if you need assistance. And along with the Borough President's Office, we'll be coming out very soon with a Veterans Resource Guide. A resource guide is the size of a Manhattan phone book is not really necessary. You know, we have 311 nowadays. What we're going to try to do, and that's the Borough President's Advisory Committee, Joe Mondello and Joe Bello, along with Colony Post 253, will be working on streamlining that and making it a usable document for a young veteran. They will be, all community boards will get a stack of these to give out when it's approved and finished. And we ordered them already, good. Okay, and that's it. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you. Take care, Ben.
Just a quickie. I'm going to be so delighted. Next time J-Lo comes up and she asks, where's our dressing room? They won't point to a porta station. Maybe we'll finally get into the locker room for this lady. Thank you very much. Fellow President, thanks again.
Duly noted.
Okay, now, we've had a moment to quiet down. We'll get back to do not like folks seeing the kind of display that you saw in front of you. However, there's always back and forth whenever there are issues. One of the issues you heard is Mr. Peter believes that we should tell them to tear up bus bulbs that are down already. And before we spoke that, our board spoke about we didn't want the bus bulbs. We were informed we were going to receive the bus bulbs. The point that we were going to receive the bus bulbs, I think the other concerns for us was going to be how do we deal with them when they're here, and we did. However, with this coming up, it forced me to have to go in and deal with the commissioner on it, to deal with the district manager on it. It was a very rough week. And as Mr. Peters said, there was a vote at all at this press conference. When you walk in the room and the city official tells you don't even speak to me about tearing something up, you know that's dead in the water. And we can stand out in the corner and take a press conference, and scream and shout, we want it up, we want it up. That doesn't mean it's going to change. So what happens now, and I have to think in terms of merchants and how it affects them, how it affects their liability, how it affects their responsibility. And that's what we focus on. We spoke with the commissioner regarding it. He's taking our sentiments downtown. I don't know why any other board never dealt with this, because these bulbs are all around the city. But we do care about our merchants, and we spoke with her about that. There's not a liability that they should have. And we have requested, we have a letter here, I just signed it this evening, going to the commissioner, in which we're looking to make sure that the vendors whose property abuts these bus bulbs will not be held responsible, accountable, or liable for the bus bulbs. When the city grows, the regulations should grow with it, and that's what we're going to have to do.